Alrighty, so I'm gonna do a Five-orite video, and my favorites for things that make me laugh right now, whenever I'm down and out or anything, things I can count on to make me laugh. So number one would have to be my kids. Also, I would have to lump my dogs in there because I kind of look at my dogs as my kids. And so my kids are very young, 2 and 4, and they say the most ridiculous things sometimes. And all I have to do is ask them a very open-ended question, and I usually get very colorful responses. Now, my dogs, I can't believe they're not bothering me right now. Come here. I don't think I've ever showed anybody, either of them. Come on, someone come up here. This is Bucho. My little Booch. He's nervous. He doesn't like it when I talk like this because there's nobody around, so he doesn't know what's going on. But this is my Booch. And he is just really, really stupid. And next we got, come here, Kobe. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Kobe. He can't get totally on my lap. He's a big boy. He is really smart, but he's really stupid. So all we gotta do is look at him, and I just laugh at him because he's really stupid. And another one I would have to lump into the number one, if we're talking about like my family, would have to be my dad. My dad is, you can't help but bask in his splendor of stupidity sometimes. I love my dad, I really do. He's hilarious, and he tries to be funny. A lot of people think my dad is crazy. I guess in some ways he is, but he just doesn't care. He'll say anything to elicit a response out of somebody, and he's usually looking for the shock factor. Can't pronounce his saying at all. I literally have like a list of what I call Bernieisms, because he's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Another thing I really, really like, number 2, would be over-the-top comedy parodies, like superhero movie, date movie, scary movie. You know, I think you get like the idea. It's just a lot of people don't find that stuff funny. That it's just so in your face and so repetitive and crazy that a lot of people don't find it funny, and I find it hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Toilet humor, bring it on. I love it. Another thing, number 3 would be stand-up comedy. I love the fresh take that a lot of people have on comedy, and yeah, stand-up, because it's always different. Every person is different. You never hear the same show. Number 4, preschooler television programming. Now, I have 2 preschoolers, and they each have TVs in their rooms. One is on Sprout, and the other one is on Nick Jr. So they get quite a diverse grouping of television shows. And, you know, when they started watching Sesame Street, I could not get through it. I couldn't watch it. I remember when I was a kid, Sesame Street was my absolute favorite show. I lived for Sesame Street and the Elephant Show. But Sesame Street was the ish. And so I started watching it again shortly after the kids were born. And it's such a mind fuck. There's so much going on, and then it just jumps from one thing to the next, and it's another thing. It's so stupid. It's funny. And last but certainly not least, number 5 would have to be Family Guy, especially the episode where Cookie Monster was in rehab for cookies. Now I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit for those of you who haven't seen it. But like I just mentioned Sesame Street, so my kids watch a lot of Sesame Street, and I loved it. Cookie Monster was my favorite, and so in this episode of Family Guy, Cookie Monster's in rehab for cookies, and like there's parts where he's like sitting around the circle and he's complaining he doesn't have any cookies, and he's just being all Cookie Monsterish. And then the orderlies bust in on him in the bathroom. He's got a tube of cookie dough, a spoon, and a lighter. And he's sitting there with a spoon trying to cook the cookie dough. And it was so pathetic, and it was so funny. And then the orderlies bust in, and I think they put him in a straitjacket and everything. And he's just screaming for his cookies, poor little Cookie Monster. I guess that's like another example of over-the-top things. The way that I was brought up, my grandmother raised my mother and my uncle that if you can't laugh at yourself, then you've got nothing. You have to at least be able to laugh at yourself, and my mom is a firm believer in that. Even when she's had a bad day and she's down and out, she could still find something to laugh at herself about. And my mother has not an acquired sense of humor, not my sense of humor, but she can always laugh at herself, and she tries not to laugh directly at other people, but sometimes we just can't help it. So yeah, there's my favorites. Have a good day.